At the end of this video, I'm going to be giving you 6 important questions that you can ask yourself, others, and of God, 2 each. So let's dive right into it. Welcome back to Sis Counsel, and if you're watching this live during the premiere, thank you so much for spending a part of my birthday with me today. We spend so much of our lives desperately looking for answers, trying to find the perfect career, trying to find the perfect blueprint for our relationships, just trying to, make sense of things. But I've realized something transformative. What if feeling stuck is not an answer problem, but rather a question problem? You see, the quality of your life is directly tied to the quality of questions you're willing to ask. Today, for Burning Questions 2.0, we are breaking down 3 critical directions you need to start asking better questions of yourself, of others, and of God. But before we get into it, please drop a birthday high five and don't forget to say a prayer for me in the comment section. Let's start with self-reflection. Most of us ask ourselves low quality questions every day without even realizing it. We ask things like, why does this always happen to me? Why am I always behind in life? When you ask your brain a low quality question, it will give you a low quality answer. It confirms your fear. To break free from being stuck, you have to upgrade your internal dialogue. Instead of asking, why am I stuck? Start asking, what am I holding on to that I have actually outgrown? Instead of asking, what if I fail? Start asking, what is the real cost to my growth if I stay exactly where I am for the next 1 year? When you change the question, you move from victimhood and step into what I call a personal agency. You're now representing yourself. So take a moment today and audit the questions you've been asking yourself. Ask constructive questions, questions whose answers can propel you towards the direction that you want to go. Stop asking questions of yourself that are self-pitying. You are not a victim. Now let's move on to questions for others. So much conflict, resentment, and built up anger comes from one single habit: making assumptions instead of asking the right questions. So let's talk about relational clarity. We often assume we know what people mean or expect them to know what we mean, to read our minds. You want a deeper, healthier connection, whether it's with your spouse, your family member, or even your team members at work, but you refuse to speak. You refuse to ask questions that will help you understand them and probably help them understand you. You would need to change that. So, let's say you're in a conflict. You want to stop defending your position and start asking questions like, what does this situation look like from your perspective? Can you help me understand your perspective on this matter? I want to understand. In your daily interactions with the people that you are relating with, stop asking the generic, how are you? Especially when you actually want a response from them. You can try asking, how can I support you in this season in a way that will be meaningful to you? What can I do to help? How can I help? Good questions create emotional safety. They show the people you love that you care more about understanding them than being right. And let me tell you, the right questions, when asked of others, can open doors for you as well. Finally, and most importantly, let's look at the question of alignment. Questions that you can ask God. Sometimes we treat God like a search engine, like ChatGPT, like Google. We want instant answers, instant timeline, instant validation. And when things don't go according to our plan, we tend to start asking questions like, why me? Why are you doing this to me? Why is this happening to me? Don't get me wrong, scripture is filled with people who went to God in their raw, vulnerable state with their questions. So God is not offended by our questions. But spiritual maturity is when we move from demanding God's performance to understanding how we can be aligned with His will. And the questions in this regard are different. Instead of asking, Lord, why am I waiting? You can ask questions like, Lord, what character are you building in me in this waiting season? Because maturity shows that you now understand that there's always a reason behind our waiting. Start asking questions like, which of these options aligns with your purpose for my life? Shifting the nature of your questions shifts you from uncertainty to trust, from waiting to preparation. Now, for the 6 questions that you need to ask yourself, others, and of God. 1, reflective questions for yourself. Where in my life am I just waiting for something to happen instead of taking an action that requires discipline? Another question you can ask yourself is, what are those habits I am currently repeating that are stopping me from becoming the person that I need to become? Now, question that you should ask others. What expectation am I holding you to that we have not agreed upon? Another question you can ask other people is, what are those areas that you feel misunderstood by me? Questions for God. Lord, am I asking you to bless my plans, or am I willing to follow the plan that you have already established for my life? This question, this particular one, can save you from a lot of stress. Another question you can ask God is, what area of my life am I guarding out of fear instead of surrendering it to your will? My dear viewers, there are a lot of questions that you can ask that can bring clarity into your life. And it is my prayer that from now on, before you start asking questions, you ask yourself, is the answer going to change my life? And is this the right question I'm supposed to be asking? And if there is any question you want to ask me today, please go ahead and type it in the comment section. I hope that this premiere has been a blessing to you. It's still going to be here, so you can come back and watch it as often times as you need to watch it. Don't forget to share it to somebody, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Once again, I am the CEO of this Counsel, and happy birthday to me until I come your way again. Bye.